Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Michelle. If you're new here, it is nice to see you. I hope you stick around, maybe like and subscribe. If you're returning, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos. It really does mean a lot. So first off, I just wanted to say my last video was an unboxing video and it did not get uploaded because my son, my 9-year-old, was recording it. We did it outside. It was a beautiful day. And he recorded it, and then when I went and looked at it, there was no recording whatsoever. I'm sorry about the movement. I'm trying to get my phone situated. I am sitting out here at my kids' football practice. Been here for about 20 minutes. I am coloring some work for my other son's homework because he doesn't like to color. But today, I was thinking about my grandma. I updated our family Bible a little bit, and my mom called me, which I don't talk to my mom very often, and it really just got me to thinking about her. I was looking at her handwriting and her beautiful, beautiful handwriting, and the time that she spent in that family Bible making sure that everything was perfect, everybody's birthdays and addresses and deaths. And the last person that is in the Bible, their death, is my grandpa, Donald Lee Todd Sr. And I had to write my grandma's name right under that, which was really hard. She passed away in May of this year, May 3rd, a couple days before Mother's Day. She was somewhat doing okay, like she was moving around, she was somewhat healthy, and she found out that she had cancer in her jaw. So she went and she had that removed. She was so brave. My grandma was very frail. She was getting older. She was getting a lot older. She was very brave, and she went and she had the surgery to have it removed. And when she got to come home, she lived with my Uncle Don. And apparently, she just wasn't doing well there. So my Uncle Don sent her, well, I guess he didn't send her. He asked around. He wasn't sure what to do, and ended up sending her to a rehabilitation nursing home, and she declined there. My Uncle Don had saved notes that my grandma sent, and because she couldn't talk because of the surgery, so she had wrote these notes, and she'd be like, I'm so hungry, or it's dirty, or I've wet myself and they haven't changed me. I mean, she really declined in this place. Well, she ended up in the hospital, and I think she was there for about a week. And I had known it that I needed to come down, and I finally got the call, and it was like, you really need to come down now. So I prayed the whole way down there, just asking for my grandma to live until I got there. And I got to go in, and they say that she wasn't alive, like her vitals and everything was there because of the machines. But when I walked in, my one son, he was so nervous, he didn't want to go to the bathroom, so he used the bathroom on himself. That way we wouldn't have to stop. And when I found out, of course I took him to the bathroom and changed, blah, blah, blah. But I told my grandma when I walked in, I'm like, I'm sorry we're late. Eli had an accident on himself. I actually said he SHIT himself, and we got here as soon as possible. And you could see the look on my grandma's face. She smiled. She would do her eyebrows like this. She was very much there. She couldn't talk. She had these machines running down her throat. Her mouth was super dry. Her tongue was sticking to her. It was bad. Anyway, so I spent the day, I got there at 4 o'clock in the morning. When they let me see her at 7, I spent the whole day there. I think it was the next day that she actually, we ended up cutting off her life support because the life support was the only thing keeping her alive at that point. She had gotten worse. That was her passing away. And it was really hard. It is like losing a mom. So my grandma was a wonderful woman. I mean, maybe not everybody thinks that, but I sure think that. I don't know if y'all knew who Susan Smith was, but she was a lady who lived in South Carolina, and I think it was in 1991, she took her 2 sons and drove them into a lake, and they both died. I think their name was Lucas and Michael. I can't remember exactly. I know one's name was Michael. Anyway, they didn't live very far from us. So right after my sister was born, my mom had taken us to the jockey lot where my grandpa and my grandma were. And my mom said, you can either take them or I'm going to take them into the woods and I'm going to blow their brains out, and then I'm going to blow my brains out. And of course, that happening with Susan Smith and her 2 sons, that was fresh on everybody's mind. So my grandma and my papa, they took us in. And I remember having the perfect childhood, like minus being smacked in the head because I wouldn't let her brush my hair or whatever. It was the perfect childhood. She had allowed me chances to go try to live with my mom, but my mom was very abusive, so my grandma would end up coming back and getting us. I remember sitting outside all day waiting on my dad to come get me because I really didn't know my dad, but I loved him so much. And I remember that night asking my grandma, why you didn't come? And she was like, oh, it must be an emergency. Now as an adult, I know he was off doing drugs or beating up his girlfriend, whatever it was. He didn't have time for us. But my grandma never spoke bad about them. She told us, it must have been an emergency. They must not have been able to come. Maybe one day I'll get into the story of my mom and my dad. They were separated. There was abuse there. My dad supposedly murdered himself. And then my mom, it was horrible growing up with the times that I had to live with her. But, I mean, my grandma and my papa, they were perfect. They molded me into who I am today. They were the absolute best parents I could have ever asked for. I remember we would go, and we went on vacation all the time. My grandpa absolutely loved Dolly Parton. That was his main shebang right there. And we would go to Dollywood like every other weekend. No joke. Like, I knew Dollywood front and back. I could walk around that park with my eyes closed. We'd have our little bitty walkie-talkies, and me and my sister would get to go do what we wanted to do, and they'd sit and they'd watch shows. I remember them taking us to, like, line dancing, and the Indians, the Cherokee Indians, we would go there, and we would get to dance with them, and so much fun. Like, memories that I have of my grandma that I would never have if my mom didn't make the choice that she did. And my grandma, I don't know what else to say besides she was just perfect. We would sit and she would help me do my homework, or she'd read a book to me, and we'd eat popcorn. And sometimes, if a special event was happening on Days of Our Lives, my grandma would let me stay out of school, and we would sit in her chair eating popcorn, watching Days of Our Lives. Don't dare speak during Days of Our Lives, because she was going to whack you upside your head with a loafer. My grandpa, he would go to the grocery store every single day and buy milk and bread, and he would do it during Days of Our Lives, so he would not have to be there during it, because my grandma would whack him upside the head too. My papa was perfect too. I can't ever think of anything bad to say about either one. My mom and aunts and uncles have stories about them that aren't good, but that's not the people that I was raised with. That's not the people that loved me and took care of me and just made sure I had everything that I needed. No, I didn't have the most name brand stuff or the most popular girl in school, whatever, but my grandma made sure that we had everything that we needed. And yes, she bought us some name brand stuff, but you know what? You had to wear Walmart too, because they didn't know nobody pay her child support. She had raised her 5 youngins, and then she was raising us too, and they were both retired. They had bought a new house. They'd given their old house to my mom. My grandma was beautiful most of the time. And there was some ugly pictures of her, but I would never tell her that. Other than that, she was beautiful. She's everything that you would think of a grandma to be. She's so loving, and I'm sorry, guys. I just really miss her, and I didn't know who else to talk to, and nobody hardly watches my channel anyway, so I figured I could just put it out here. So I'm gonna go. Maybe there'll be a part 2. Let me know if you guys want to hear any more about my mom, dad, my grandparents. Just let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing, blessed day. Bye.